What's going on, everyone? So today I'm working on a sliding rolling ladder. As you can see, we've been working pretty diligently on this wall. Let me step back, try to get it in the frame. We made a giant calendar wall so that we can kind of track our goals, and because of how tall it is, we need to put a ladder up to be able to, work with the months up top. So I just mounted this one here. This is where we're gonna put the rail hardware for the sliding ladder. And based off of that, I have the calculations that I need to be able to start working on the plan for the DIY sliding ladder. So I'm pretty excited with this. We've been working on this room for quite some time. I can't wait to share the before and after of a lot of the progress that we've been doing. One of the big ones, as you guys can see, is the calendar, with that coming with the ladder. So please stay tuned and kind of see how I go about creating this ladder. It should be pretty easy. We actually only bought 3 pieces of wood, and from there I'm going to assemble it. So I'll show you all the pieces that we bought, and I'll get started on building the DIY ladder. So this is actually a fairly simple DIY. As you guys can see, I have a bunch of wood here, but actually the only wood we'll be using are these two 2x4x8s. I believe the length that we actually need for the total length or height is about 6.5 feet. So the closest to that was an 8-foot board. Another thing that we got, I bought this piece here, which is like a 1x2. This will be used to add support on the ladder for where the steps will be. I'll show that when I get there. And then the step was a 1x6x8 board as well. So we're looking at about $10 in wood to be able to get this started, and all you need from there is wood glue, nails, and the hardware. The hardware we bought off of eBay. We bought 2 additional tracks and the track hardware feature with the bottom rollers. That came out to be about $185. So we're looking at a under $200 DIY sliding ladder. When I looked online, I think they were going for like $1,000. So an easy $800 savings there. And Step 1. Use a pencil and speed square to mark the necessary dimensions as outlined in my free design plans to cut your wood to proper specification. Here I am showcasing some of the steps that were cut with my miter saw. Next step is to set up your miter saw to the 10-degree angle that is required for the support blocks. These support blocks will be at the same 10-degree angle as your beam, so that your steps are accessible. If you do not ensure the proper angle, your steps will be pointed upward. Afterwards, I use the cut to spec support block to trace the additional support blocks so that they're all about the same length. Note that this isn't 100% critical, as this is just a support piece. What's most important is the angle. So as you can see, we have 6 boards cut. Those will be subbing for the steps. So like I said, this is about 6.5 feet tall. So every 12 inches you want to have a step. And then I have these, which will serve as the supports for the step. So now all I have to do here is glue and assemble to the main 2x4 frame that I recently cut, and then start putting together the 2 sides for the ladder. So now what I have to do is every 12 inches from the bottom, I have to figure out where I want to have the marks for where these steps will be. I actually already kind of did this on the previous board, so I'm going to cheat and use that as a reference. And then with that reference, I can have the same line spacing that I need to be equal with the other board. As you can see here, I'm making sure that the position of each support block is equal so that the steps will be leveled. I use wood glue to glue the support blocks to the beam at the proper locations marked previously with a pencil. I repeat this step 6 times for the 6 support blocks I have on the beam. Note that if your ladder is longer, you may have additional support blocks. I let the wood glue dry for about an hour. I then use my Ryobi brad nailer to shoot 2-inch brad nails into each support block for additional support. I then position the steps in their final assembly position to make sure everything has been done properly so far and that the steps are leveled. The final steps of my design plans are to assemble the steps to both beams. I use wood glue on each side of the steps and firmly place them between each beam. If you have reviewed my design plans, I provided you with an additional method as I feel this might make this process easier. Each step is completed with 2.5 inch wood screws drilled into both sides. I repeat this 6 times for each step. As stated, if your ladder is longer, you may repeat this multiple times more. So if you guys finish the whole DIY ladder and you guys go out and buy your hardware, you'll have a finished product that'll look something like this. As you can see, we haven't stained it yet because we haven't decided on the stain that we want to do for the ladder yet. But so far so good. So as you guys saw with the last project, we have the calendar wall up and mounted, so we're pretty happy about that. And now we have the ladder. And as you can see, definitely has some solid slide action. So live from the top of the ladder, definitely do this project. Love for you guys to share it. Follow us at WhoMadeTime on Instagram. Definitely hashtag WMT with any of the projects you do. We'd love to be able to check them out. And yeah, stay tuned with us on here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe if you like what you see, or you are also interested in kind of seeing how we do the rest of our house, and then also, you know, staying updated on some of the projects that we're doing and whatnot. We definitely appreciate it. But yeah, get to the happy building, and thank you again for checking us out.